more to say, sweetheart.
You're going to have a shower, babe?
It's taking me a bit by surprise.
I've done all my thinking and I know what I want. If you want me to stay, then I will. And I'm not talking about any heavy commitment like marriage or even living together. We could just be there for each other. Think about it, won't you?
Don't mind.
If you like that, dear, just be at my flat tomorrow.
Like we were. Oh.
If not, I'll understand.
Yeah. Just need a bit of time, that's all.
Okay. Thanks for the fried bread.
As an accountant, I've done quite a lot of running. Mostly running late or running to catch a train. You still want the big city job.
What do you reckon it was, no?
Just minus the big city.
No, it's alright. I've got to watch something different.
This is
I'm just going to have a look at the Ghost IBTA.
Do you know what I mean? The thing that's... What's it called? Is he on there at all? No, not at all. Not on there now, is he? Is he coming back on there? Well, that he's come back on there, do you? Well, that is come. I don't think he's coming back on today.
You will want to wind them up, mate.
Don't know, Dan. What's his name? Fucking boy. I was thinking on Tuesday, if you don't want to go to the closing, don't go. If you don't want to go to the closing, don't go.
Fucking bridge out, have a quick look at it. It's too nice and saturated. Let's have a little fucking chain vape now, eh?
I don't know what we're doing. We'll see it out on the day, yeah.
Slots in the little hole.
What does his fucking hair look like? What does his fucking hair look like? Like fucking sweat head, isn't it? Always thinks there's something special there. Ugh. Australian fuck. What he is. He swears because he thinks it's hard.
This is the packaging you get from Mod's House, Ghost RBTA. Can't show you the back because there is a website on there, but let's see what you get inside. Well, you'll find the tank, of course. A selection of airflow pins and rings. A bag of spare screws, O-rings, and a spare fill port gasket. And an adapter for pulsing and pinching on a Mod. But let's get into it. So, I have the blue titanium edition. Now, this is not the standard blue titanium that you can pick up. That one has like a kind of almost flame-like, kind of almost looks like Damascus pattern on it. This one has been given a little bit of boganization, a few bogan logos on there, using I guess the heat treatment that you do with titanium imprint. Some little bogan bits on there. You've got the fucking ghost on the side there. You got bogan, ghost bogan. Pretty cool. He's put some little kind of cross mods around the base, which is pretty cool, making a little X pattern, more logo work up the top there. Very nicely done. But you can get a blue version. It doesn't look quite like this, but it's blue. There's also stainless steel and black, so depending on what you like, and there's also a heavily engraved one as well, so a few different choices out there. Let's start up the top, shall we, and work our way around. We're going to have to kind of take this thing apart to show you how it all works. But you've got the top cap there. Now you can see that there's like a fat, thick side and a thinner side. You're going to want the thicker side at the front because when you put it into a mod, this chimney holder here is going to line up with your flush nut or your integrated drip tip. So you'll know if you put it on wrong because it won't fit in your mod properly, but yeah, thin side to the back, thick side to the front. Moving our way down, you've got the fill port. Now you've got 4.2 millilitres of capacity in the tank underneath, so pretty decent capacity there. Fill port, you just pull the plug and it does come completely out. You've got two little holes, one for filling, I guess one for air to escape. So just make sure you don't lose this one, but you do get a spare, and it is a nice fit in there. And it is kind of, you know, easy to fill when you don't have a plug in the way. So pros and cons to having it detach, I guess. You've got the airflow intake down the bottom here. So you've got a slit on the front, the side, the back, and the other side. So letting plenty of air in from all sides. And then you've got the pin in the base here. Now, this is the first port of airflow control. There are two airflow control points. The first one being in the screw here, or nut, I guess, in the bottom. It is also how the deck is secured to the top. So we'll come back to that in a second. Let's just pop the deck off here. Some really nice tolerances. There's the inside of the top cap.
No, it's a
very
bridge.
condensed, so they've only
It's a
cut
bridge.
out around here where it needs to be around the
It goes in the vape.
screws. But everything else is kind of, you know, brought in to condense that chamber space. Having a look at the deck, you've got some big fuck-off flathead screws. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of this style of screw. Very easy to, you know, get your tools on there. Nice big fuck-off screws, clamping your wire underneath them. There is no little
He loves swearing.
would be good if there
Some
was a
people
little
do.
flap maybe on the side of the screw, just to keep it
You
in
do
there
as well.
from sliding out. Because you've got such a big surface area of the screw head, I
No,
found
there's
it
a lot
actually
of things
very
I'm
easy
saying,
to
I
do.
mean it
If
as
you want to
well.
see me installing this,
Don't complain, can you,
put a
son?
link
Yeah,
in the
but I mean it,
description
son.
to the
When I swear at things, I
build
mean it.
stream where I set this up. But yeah, it
Don't
was
say
very
it, Jess,
easy.
I mean
And then
it
you
when
can
I say
see some little
Especially
kind
about
of
that cunt
cutouts
today
in the
and
deck.
that
That's
fat
where your
cunt on there.
cotton is going to sort of sit. You don't want to cramp
Yeah.
it in there.
I
You
mean
want to
it,
just place
not
it on
just
there.
about
That's where your
swearing, I'll
cotton is
just
going to
swear
go.
because
These
I
two
mean
holes
it.
on the side here,
It's not
they have
that's
to
meant,
let
I don't...
air
Yeah.
into
Because
the
I
Call
like...
him a
to
fat
replace the
cunt.
liquid that is going to be
Because I like
coming
saying
With the
it.
blobby blobby blobby.
Beneath the coil
Like,
there,
I don't
there's
mean
another
to... Like, I
airflow
like saying the
pin,
words, I
and
don't
that's
like
going
the
to control
words,
the
but
air
I do
directly
mean
under the
them.
coil,
Yeah.
so you can control
What are you gonna
the
call
air
a fat
and you can
cunt?
control it
Yes.
on the base
Yeah?
here. So let's just
Yes.
talk about this coil
Fat
real
cunt.
quick
Fat
before we
fuck.
take it out, because we are going to take it out. It is for brake kills bullets. This is the MTL Tank Alien Desert Fog stapled. That's the one. 2.5mm ID, comes in usually at 0.8 to 0.9. Mine came in a little higher, around about 0.1. 16 to 18
I don't
watts,
like you
gives you a
anyway,
little
don't
power,
like
flavour,
you.
duration
Don't
rating
get off
there.
from me.
These coils, as
Come on,
always,
Dora.
from brake kills,
Get off.
bullets, really
Fucking hell,
good
dog.
fucking
I'm
coils.
getting
They
up.
come in these awesome little bullets.
Come on.
And this thing has been super fucking flavoursome, as with all of the coils that I've used from him. Absolutely fantastic. See if we can get in there and...
Yo, fat cunt.
It's a little bit used.
Fat cunt, fat cunt, fat cunt, fat cunt,
Gentle on the
fat cunt, fat cunt.
discoloration, but yeah, really, really nice. So what we're going to do is whip this guy out so we can kind of take this thing apart a bit easier for you. So we'll just grab our big flathead screw, just release this guy. There we go, and you can see that airflow insert in there. That's held in by a little O-ring. Now, it's not the easiest thing to get in and out once you put it in there. As you can see, it doesn't really have much to get it out with. So it's probably easier to push it out from the base. So what we'll do is take off this bottom nut here, which will release the deck and also allow us to take the whole thing apart. So if we unscrew this, this is one of the ways that you can control the airflow, is through the bottom pin, so you control how much comes in. This is a 2.2mm airflow, so if you're using an MTL coil, you probably want to put a small tight pin in the top here, and then, you know, a medium option, or the smallest option you've got for the bottom. So you've got a few here. You've got 2.2 as we just talked about. There is a 2.6, and there is a 3, and then the widest is this guy here at 3.5 millimeters. So we're going to go with 3.5 because we're going to do a direct lung in a moment. So we'll just put that to one side. But now we've released tube, we can push the deck out. Obviously you can't do this with a coil in there, but you can see what's going on with this capillary action that I mentioned earlier that is pretty fucking unique. So that's your deck there, and if we want to get that airflow pin out of the middle, the easiest thing to do is just stick a screwdriver head in and push him out. There you go, out she comes. So if you're not doing MTL, you wouldn't use one of these. All the little inserts are MTL focused, or certainly very restricted direct lung, but 1.2 is what I just had in there. There's a 1.5, a 1.8, and then if you like it really tight, there's a 0.9 as well, so that would just pop in like so. But we're not going to use these because we're doing a direct lung build, so we'll use the 3.5 in the base, and then in here you've got about the same, I think. Yeah, just get that quick measure with the calipers, and so you've got 3.5 millimeters underneath your coil and 3.5 matching that on the bottom there. If you want something a bit tighter for your restricted direct lung, well, you just use one of the other direct lung contacts or nuts in the bottom. But let's talk about this guy. Have a look at these interesting little fucking grooves, little channels going up this center post here. That is where the liquid is going to work its way up through capillary, through the heat. It's going to work its way up, kind of like a stick of celery. Remember you doing that fucking science experiment in school? We get a stick of celery and some food colouring in water, and then you watch the fucking food colouring water go up the celery stick. That is essentially what's happening here, and it's going to get to the top and meet those little holes, which is where your cotton is going to be sitting. You've got a couple of little prongs sticking out to help the liquid fan out onto the cotton, and it's making its way basically between the tube you see here, that blue tube from the body, and in these little grooves here, air is going to be coming through the very middle of this stainless steel tube here. So liquid sitting in here, going up the capillary action fucking tube. We can pop the top off, we can push the base out, you can take it all apart. This frosted PCGT tank will turn a nice clear colour once you get liquid in there, but it looks a bit frosted at the moment. And the way the liquid gets into this tube is through this hole here, and this hole here and here. So you got, what is that, 1, 2, 3 holes? 4 holes? 4 holes. On all 4 sides, liquid is going to get in through the bottom of the tank and then work its way up to your deck. And that is that's about how it works. So we'll put that back on there for now. We might as well put this whole thing back together so that we can chuck a direct lung coil in. So that just goes in there like that. Push it all together, and then we need to make sure we keep our deck in. So we're going to thread on our 3.5 millimeter nut. There we go, like that. Now, I haven't had any issues, but you do have quite a wide cut out contact point here for your mod. So some mods with really tiny pins might have a little bit of a trouble, but I haven't had any issues. Just because you've got a large hole. With the smaller diameter nuts, you know, like these guys here, you're not going to have so much of a worry about that because you've got a smaller hole. But with the 3.5, that could be a potential issue. And obviously airflow is getting through all of those sides, getting into this chamber, going through those cuts there and then up the fucking middle. So we need to fucking screw this onto a mod, so we need to put on the adapter. So that's one thing you'll need to remember you have. Screw on the adapter, and then we can chuck it onto a fucking mod. Now the coils we're going to be using are from UK Coils, handcrafted coils. These are actually from one of my Patreons. Shout out to you, Lee. You've made some fucking beautiful coils here, or we're going to use one of them. This is an SFC, or a staggered fuse Clapton, 2-core, 2.5 millimeter ID. It's 2 strands of 28 wrapped in 38. 0.27 to 0.32 ohms is what this should come in at, and as you can see, a really nicely wrapped fucking staggered fuse Clapton. Let's bung this in, and I'll show you how I've been wicking it. Some people have found this kind of tricky. I've found it relatively easy. I kind of got it the first time, and I've re-wicked it since and had no issues. So I'm going to wick it up for you, and then I'll talk about the sort of minute details on the wicking and make sure you get it right so you don't get a dry hit. Now before we actually get building, I will point out one thing that I didn't notice initially is this build deck actually suits a anti-clockwise wrapped coil a bit more than a clockwise wrapped coil, simply because with this one here, which is an anti-clockwise wrapped coil, as you can see, it's going this way, that sits in here quite nicely. And it lines up with the sort of shoots a little bit better. If we go ahead and put in this clockwise wrapped coil, it's going this way, so it's going clockwise. When we go to install it, like that, it's going to be kind of pointing directly